So here we go. Jeannie Lassen and myself, David Goldstrom, for the penultimate weightlifting championship of the Games, the men's 105 kilo class. 12 contenders and the bar to 91 kilos for the appearance of the man from Nui. And this is Rex Rico Melekitama, otherwise known as Rico to his mates. A house builder. He said to me he was actually an apprentice house builder, but recommended a visit to Nui. But now it's time to focus and concentrate. Now this man, to be fair, isn't going to trouble the medal podium, but he has a limited amount of experience, and therefore what he's after today are new personal best marks.
Just a little error in how he tried to correct that balance issue there. Almost able to save it though. Definitely has a lot of power.
This will be attempt number 2 for Melekitama of Niue. James Adede, Kenya.
Here comes the replay. So throws it from the hips. Was going backwards. He tried to lean forwards to correct that. Didn't work.
Let me give you some pointers as to the rules of the snatch.
But getting that first lift out of the way, even when it's a miss, is a good feeling.
Arm's length in one movement.
Yeah, nobody else will want this particular weight. So whilst he's composing himself, let me just give you an idea of some of the opening weights today. So Ben Watson of England, he's put 145 on the bar, but that's not the heaviest opener. It's the man from Barbados, Yvonne McNee, on 150. He will be, on paper at least, the last man in. Also on 145, David Kato Atao for Kiribati. Also looking further up there, Stanislav Celaya, Stas of New Zealand, 145 for him. But there's a whole host of lifters on 140, 145, and that's what's going to make this contest really intriguing. Because when you look at the opening weights on the snatch division, apart from maybe 3 competitors out of the 12, the other 9 are all bunched within 5 kilos of each other.
It's going to make for some traffic jams on the scoreboard in a minute.
So
just has to put it right into that perfect spot. The strength is there.
Rico Melekitama Nui, second attempt, 91 kilos.
That was better. He's happy with that. You can see that he has a bunch of tape on his shins. That would be because the bar, he's keeping it so close to him when he lifts that he's actually ripping the skin on his shin, so he's got some tape on there just to stop from making the wounds any worse. Big throw from the hips. Still had a little challenge there with the balance, but he was able to rectify it that time.
Yeah, he's got an interesting dilemma now, because they've got to put the bar up, but would they really put it up a little bit more? I think they should push him a little bit here. 96, absolutely right. 96 is on his personal best. 97, of course, would be a new mark. But so in other words, what they're doing is they're trying to stick to their original plan here. They would have liked to have got to 96 or possibly 97 in 3 movements. But as it is, this is the 3rd, and they've got to go for it.
There's the wraps.
Sometimes it works, you know. It wakes you up when you know that you've only got 1 attempt to measure up to where you want to be.
That's right, and you do have that freedom of having 1 lift on the board, on the scoreboard, heading towards the total to put a little bit more power into it, because the biggest thing about the snatch is it's all about precision, so it's very hard to be explosively powerful and precise at the same time. That's where we see the little hesitations in technique.
First one I've ever met. And He says the flesh of the coconut crab is absolutely delicious, much better than lobsters, and it's called una.
So just getting the crucial notes, just reminding him now of what he has to do. But like you've said so many times, Ginny, for this third attempt, it's really all about his desire, what he wants. He's got to have fire in the belly. He's got the power, I'm sure, to do this, but he's got to use it with great precision.
That's right. Can he apply that power with the technique he needs?
So Rico Medikatama comes out for this third and final attempt on his personal best. So we know he can do the weight. That's not the issue. In a way, it looks quite languid, the way that he strolls up to the bar.
You can see he has quite a wide start position with his feet. His base of support is very wide to start.
Oh! He's okay.
He is okay. That was holding on to the bar a little too long for my liking. When you're a spectator, it's scary. But the thing is, when you're making a lift on a platform like that, you just don't want to let go until you absolutely have to. So he was really trying to be a fighter there, holding, even though...
Yeah. You saw the hips very clearly, how far back they were.
That's right. Couldn't shift his weight to save that one, and he's actually kind of lucky that that weight didn't land on his foot.
Lucky it didn't land on his tail as well.
Just some, like I said, that killer instinct, wanting to hold on to the weight is very innate when you're out on that competition platform.
So next to appear will be James Adede for Kenya. Now I said that he had an outside shot of the bronze medal. That's because he's got a reasonable clean and jerk. Not the biggest clean and jerk. He will be fighting for anything for the bronze medal. So his job here is to get 3 good snatch attempts in, and really 120 is what he really needs to achieve. He's opening up, as you can see, on 110.
Competed in Delhi in the 94s, and now you can see on the scoreboard he's only 96.99. That was an easy lift. What a solid first attempt. He said that he moved up to the 105s because he liked eating and he liked being heavy. Well, he's still got a lot of room before he's a full 105, but he didn't even want to lose 3 kilos to make those 94s. What a throw from the hips, so powerful.
It's always frustrating when you end up in 4th place. He totaled 321 in the 94 kilo class, but to be honest, he was more than 10 kilos behind. So the bar's gone up to 115 kilos.
The loaders have done their work. Now it's James Adede's time. Kenya, second attempt, 115 kilos.
Very interesting man to talk to. I was asking him about where he was from, and he told me, you should know I'm from the ghetto of Kenya. So he told me he's from a town called Giocali, which means hot sun. And you know how he got into weightlifting, David? Is because he was a street fighter and he wanted to get stronger. Quite an original story. We haven't heard that one yet.
Well, this man's got 90 seconds or a little bit less than that now. He's got plenty of time, I did it. He might be keen, but it's important he doesn't rush it. He doesn't need to rush it.
What a slick lift. No challenge there.
15 kilos, 3 white lights. Loaders 116, please. Again, the
It'll be very interesting to see what they do with the third attempt. I would think they've got to put it to 120, but then it would just make me wonder whether they should have started on 115.
Oh yes, these are very solid lifts. There was no trouble there. That would have been a very safe first attempt. Watch how he gets past the knees and throws from the hips. And a very solid catch overhead with arms locked.
But what I'm really alluding to is the fact that if he does think he has an outside chance of the bronze medal, 115 would have been a better starter. So Wilfred Vea from Tonga, first attempt. Barely 3 years experience. Combines his weightlifting with a bit of farming. And so far, all of his competitions have really been in his part of the world. He was 4th this year in the Oceanic Championships. Collected 125 kilos on that occasion. Got a bronze medal last year in the Pacific Mini Games. So this by a long way, the biggest and most important stage he's ever stepped onto.
He doesn't look like a stranger to this kind of stage. Look at that technique, that is textbook.
It's interesting, he took the bar to the back of the platform there, perhaps anticipating that he might need a step or two forward, but that was perfect.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that one. I'm sure he is too. Great throw from the hips. You can see he has a lot of room in the overhead position. The bar is quite a bit higher than his head. He may even be able to put that grip out right to the end of the bar. Won't have to lift it as far that way, David.
So, 44 seconds. It's always difficult, I have to say, even when you've shown that the first two attempts have almost looked routine. Now to come out on this, a third attempt is never routine.
No, not with a 5 kilo jump. Ooh, just a little too in front. Can't fight that. Doesn't matter how strong you are, you can't fight that momentum, bringing the bar back to the ground when it's that far away from your center of gravity.
What we can say is that had nothing to do with the amount of weight on the bar. Easily could handle that weight.
Yeah, definitely has the power, but this is what happens when you get to the heavier weights. A little moment's hesitation, kick the bar a little too far away from you, and you can't save it.
So the bar goes up to 125 kilos. Now, this is exactly the weight that Faha Leuli of Samoa asked for. This is the man who won the Commonwealth gold. This is the man who started the gold run 4 years ago for Delhi, which ended up with 3 golds. But he will always be known as the first ever gold medalist in any sport, let alone the Commonwealth Games, for Samoa. So 125 to open his challenge. Interesting to see how he gets on with this new weight class.
Oh, and the same mistake we just saw, a little kick forward.
Loaders, we're staying at 125. Currently, we have 2 athletes calling for this weight. Wilfred Vea.
Just a little throw forward there. Wasn't able to hold it, but you see the power is clearly there.
This is a long way from being achieved, that attempt.
Well, he had to get his head in front of his elbows. You want to be able to see the ears from the side view when the bar is overhead.
So he's got a moment's respite as Wilfred Vea for Tonga comes on to take his second attempt. This is also a 5 kilo increase. early days, but he is the current leader already, weighed in at 102.53. So again, one of the lighter men in the competition tonight.
What speed. He is well on his way to making 3 out of 3 lifts if he can reproduce that technique on the next attempt.
Now, 125 is his personal best, but I know, having a chat with his coach, they have done 130 in training. So,
125 for his second attempt as well.
Lululi coming out now to take his second attempt. Remember, he failed the first one. And this would just put him into second place by virtue of his body weight, heavier than the man from Tonga who's got 2 good lifts.
Good save. That was much more efficient than that last lift we saw. You know, he's got a very strong clean and jerk, so he's really trying to limit the lead that people get on him on this part of the competition. So he's going to be very well set up after that lift. Great throw from the hips, no problems. Head right through the in front of the elbows there, like solid lift.
Ladies and gentlemen, while the bar's being cleaned, please welcome Mr. Austin Seeley from Barbados, who's the honorary treasurer of the Commonwealth Games Federation and also an International Olympic Committee member.
So, bar going up. And with Rivera, 3 kilos the initial increase for the man from Tonga. He'll be looking for 3 out of 3. Bar goes to 110, 128, and it looks as if Wilfred Bear is going to come out. Well, this will be interesting because on a platform this would be a new personal best. But they've obviously had a little chat and said, you know, although we've done 130, this is not the moment to go for that. 150 for his opening clean and jerk doesn't suggest that he's going to be a player in the second half of the competition, though. Well, 130, the 5 kilo increase has come, and all they were doing there really was being tactical, just buying a little bit more recovery time, particularly because he is following himself.
That's right, it's not easy in these big international competitions to follow yourself. You definitely do feel that the audience is just waiting for you to come out here and get it done.
Yeah, the audience tonight feels a bit like a coiled spring. You know, you can feel the atmosphere, but you can also feel that they're waiting until we get to the really big money. Nonetheless, these are all important steps on the road to maybe greater things in years to come.
What a lift.
And that's 3 out of 3.
That was a spectacular lift. He really used everything he had to get that lift.
Well, it is a majority decision, and the central referee, this is Keshadine Sofe from New Zealand, deciding that, well, now, let's have a look.
Throw from the hips. I think shoulder movement in that split second may have looked like an elbow press out.
Yeah, it's difficult to see because couldn't really see the 2 elbows cleanly. So, but no move from the jury, and the next lifter is on stage, so that is accepted as a good lift. So Luli for Samoa going to 130. Now he weighed in at 104 kilos, and the man from Tonga, who's just lifted this weight, at 102. So this would put the man from Samoa into second place.
Oh, it's the same error as that first lift, just a little kick forward. You know what? I'm not sure how long it's been in the 105s, but one of the disadvantages of moving up a weight class, or down a weight class for that matter, is it really changes your technique. He's got 10 kilos more body weight than he used to have. That's going to change his technique. And when you come out onto the platform in competition, like he's doing here, you'll see big throw from the hips. You revert to what is natural and you go for that innate automatic technique, and maybe he's struggling with that right now.
Yeah, because obviously everybody adapts in a different way and in a different time frame. I mean, you've adapted from one category to another. How long did it take you to adapt when you moved?
Well, I've done every weight class, from the 48s to the 75 plus, so I've had my fair share of adaptation.
First of the Aussies, and it's the primary school teacher. This is Maxwell Dal Santo.
Wow, so fluid. You even heard the audience. They were impressed with that technique.
It's good to see him, actually, because he got a bit disillusioned after failing to qualify for the Australian team in Delhi, and effectively had a 2-year break. He felt a bit burnt out.
Such good technique.
He's moving up. Floaters beyond the 140 kilos. 140.
You know, weightlifting is a lot of training and not as much competition. We spend hours and hours and hours to make something that takes 2 seconds to achieve look easy. So you do see that athletes have little periods of burnout and need a break from the sport, but then, you know, most of us have such a passion for it that we can't stay away for too long.
So it'll be the Pakistani birthday boy to start his campaign on 140 kilos. He has got a personal best of 153, so he's moved up, which is understandable. Warm-up going well. And it's going to be the other Aussie, Robert Goldsworthy, to, I think, come out now and take his first attempt at 140. Again, Robert Goldsworthy, a regular achiever at 150 kilos and more. And he was 4th in the Commonwealth Games in this very weight class. Did 329 kilos in total.
We can see the marshal's table there where the coaches are.
Excuse me, Lynn. Obehonge is now the athlete. 141 kilos loaders. They're shuffling like crazy back there. Obehonge, 140 kilos, first attempt on Samoa.
Well, a lot of changes, and now this is yet another member of the Opolongi family. This is Tovea Opolongi, and big moment here, Ginny, because it all went horribly wrong in Delhi. He came out for 135 kilos, not once, not twice, but thrice, and he didn't make any of them.
That's right. Here he is trying 6 kilos more.
Then he was 17, today 21. Stronger, wiser, hopefully.
And technically efficient. That was solid. I think that was a safe start for him. We may see a big jump from him now. Very hard mentally to come back and get that first lift in a lift you've bombed out at your most recent competition.
Yeah, he's got that sort of hoodoo off his back.
That's right. The monkey off his back.
Yeah, monkey. Yeah, I was looking for that word, but here comes Shukat. So Haroon, 141. Just took a little bit of time, put the kilo on. Still, after this man, 5 to start.
Does he ever get low? Well, he told you it was his birthday today.
Yeah.
But he's a bit confused because according to the date on the scoreboard, it was yesterday. I'm wondering if he's getting caught up in the vortex that is the Athletes Village, and maybe the coach just let him believe his birthday was today just to distract him so he wouldn't be celebrating a day too early.
Or maybe he just wants a second birthday.
Well, so far, he kind of got one with that lift. Let's hope he can reproduce that 2 more times.
141. He's on his way for Pakistan, and the bar goes to 142 kilos, and it's the first appearance of Robert Goldsworthy for Australia. Originally from Perth, but these days living in Queensland. And his partner in the audience, more of that in a moment. Oh.
Just a little kick forward, but no lack of power there.
Tegan Napa, his partner, who was 4th in the 48 kilo class. Clearly hoping that Robert can have a really good series, but this is a mini setback. I'll forgive him one, but he's got to make the next one to keep his chances of the podium alive.
Just a little bit of momentum taking him too far back, but man, was that ever smooth on the way up.
We're staying at 142 kilos, please.
Both of the Australians are sort of looking at 170, 180 clean and jerks to open up. So when they lose one here, ultimately it could be very expensive for them at the end of the day. You know, with still 4 men to start, Robert Goldsworthy knows that he needs to be as close as he possibly can be, and if he gets this one, then again they've got to take a decision. Would they go up to 150? 150 would be his personal best, but at the moment it's 142.
There we go. Great correction.
Now, are they brave enough to go to 150? So Max Del Santo coming out to take his 3rd attempt, but Robert will be pleased with that. But that will have given him a big boost of confidence. Now, talking to Maxwell here, and of course he's stuck in the 130s, 136. So he'll be very keen now to get in the 140s.
You know, that was a really good lift on the way up. Like I said, he's just going to be really technically precise right now in order to save it, hold it in the exact spot it needs to be. Pulling him back onto his heels again. He really fought it, though.
You really feel for him when he's that close.
Yeah, that went up so nicely. But, you know, he let go at the right moment. If you hold on any longer than that, you can really risk elbow injury. Great throw from the hips. Great bottom position. Just a little too much momentum taking him backwards.
And you saw the disappointment.
And it doesn't pay off.
No, but this is where mind over matter. Move on.
Yep, exactly.
And 144 on the kilos. 144 kilos on the bar, I should say, for David Katoa for the, Kato Atai for Kiribati. Strong start. And this man has posted the biggest clean and jerk. So if he can keep this moving with 3 good attempts, he's really in a position to make that big clean and jerk count.
Yes, he's really sitting pretty. Like, 200 kilo starting attempt is quite something. Just a reminder that Commonwealth Games record is 210, sorry, so potential of seeing that broken with a 200 kilo start.
So the bar going to 145 for England's man, Ben Watson. Richie Patterson there with Tina Ball just keeping a close eye on the weights. And we change again. Ben Watson's gone up to 147. So Harun Shukat from Pakistan, 4 kilo increase for him.
He is so efficient at getting under that bar without a lot of height. Puts it right where it needs to be and throws himself under there, catching so solidly.
146 kilos, please.
So we see he even jumps back a little bit, throws from the hips, doesn't get a lot of height, but he gets so low and it's just so solid. Impressive to be so stable in such a deep position.
So Tavia Apolonge on for 146. Now this is a 5 kilo increase. So this man bidding to take himself into first place. And still the Kiwi, Stanislav Celaya, the runner-up 4 years ago to start his campaign. Also waiting in the wings, Ben Watson for England, and the Barbadian, that's Yvonne McNee, who's now gone up to 150 for his opener. That is a big save.
That was a huge save. I am still trying to process how he did it. That is brute strength.
2 out of 2. So he leads.
Quick throw from the hip, so you can see it's going back, but he manages to shift his weight forward without overcorrecting.
So it'll be Ben Watson to come out here and start his campaign. Ben, the English champion from St. Binlos Weightlifting Club. Started weightlifting at school. It was pretty popular in his school.
That was nothing.
And that's going to give a lot of pleasure to his mother Erica, dad Paul, and his brother Matt, and a few members of the club who've come up to support him tonight. Good start. So 147, Ben.
You can see that when he caught the weight, he wasn't even in the full squat position already. There was room for more weight. He really resisted it on the way to the ground. So impressive.
So even if Robert Goldsworthy gets this particular weight, at this moment in time, Ben Watson will stay ahead of him because of lighter body weight. Ben at 103.23, Goldsworthy at 104.66. But this is Goldsworthy's last attempt. Well, he moved back, and just got the feeling that he was not really into that lift.
Oh, he really got the height, though. Definitely the power and speed were there. Just might have thrown the weight a little too early. So this is what's really hard, is you have to be fast and you have to have patience. So you have to complete the lift, but you have to be speedy. Very hard to get those two things in order sometimes.
147, the same weight for the man from Pakistan. In picture now. So far, so good. 141, 145, and this is just a 2 kilo increment. So very measured steps here by Team Shukat. There they are, all in the background. He's got 3 men on his side there. 1 to look after him, 1 to watch what everybody else is doing, another man to be by the Chief Marshal's desk to adjust the kilos and enter them as required. So this for second place at the moment. Still New Zealand and Barbados to start.
Not quite high enough, but really courageous going under it just the same. That wasn't for lack of wanting. He really did try to get under there.
1 more kilo. We need more weight.
David Kato Atau now for Kiribati. This is pretty important here for him.
Just wasn't enough height on that lift.
So we've got 2 men who've yet to start, and we've got 2 men who've started well, both with 2 more attempts. So David Kato Atau out here for 148 kilos. That's just a kilo more than Ben Watson. Is anybody going to get some kilos and get a little advantage? No, not to be.
That went up so simply. Moving fast from the ground and even more acceleration, passing the knees and then the throw from the hips, but not a forgiving lift. It has to be exactly in that right position.
As he is making consecutive lifts, he will have 2 minutes.
See here, so light up into that hip position. And he almost managed to hold on. Great throw. Great catch position, but
well, you have a look
centimeters.
Look what he does now. Oh, you missed it. He just tapped his head to say, stupid. Paul Coffer in with those words. You know what you have to do. Just want this and needs this, because otherwise he drops back to 144, and you get a sense that Ivan McNee, if he's successful in Barbados, and also the Kiwi, Stanislav Celaya, and possibly Ben Watson could move away a few kilos, a few important kilos from the rest of the field.
David's coming out right away, doesn't need that full recovery time. I think that's just evidence of how powerful he was and how easy that went up. Didn't tax him, just frustrated him.
Yeah, it's that 200 clean and jerk. And now he can make use of that big jerk.
That was pulling him back too, but he was really amazing at shifting his balance and managing to save that. Very similar lift for the first part, just had that extra little determination to hold on to it.
So by a kilo, he goes into the lead. In terms of ranking, he can't be worse than 4th. And the bar has gone to 150 kilos. And this is for the first appearance of the Kiwi. And this is Stanislav Celaya, born in Tomsk in Siberia. And his mother, who sadly passed away a few years ago, Larissa, brought him to New Zealand at the age of 12. And she was the driving force in everything that he did. He didn't even speak a word, didn't speak a word of English, a bit like me at the moment. But here he comes at 150 kilos.
That is some really sweet technique. You can see he has to put his hands all the way out to the end of the bar in order to get the bar right to that hip position when he's at full extension.
So Stas gets off to a really good start. He's had a couple of knee operations in the last couple of years, but he learned to weightlift at the Auckland Grammar School. And things have been going so well for the Kiwis. The spirit in the camp is just amazing. So Barbados now, 150 kilos. This is for Yvonne McNee. 8th in the Commonwealth Games, but that was way back in Melbourne in 2006.
Whoa, with the way back. That wasn't that long ago, David.
Oh, that's history. Another good starter.
That's a very good start. 150, wow.
This is great. The game is really on now. You got Stas for New Zealand with 2 attempts to come. You got Ben Watson with 2 to come for England, and you got 2 to come for the Barbadian. And here comes the last attempt from Tobia Opelongi in this first half of the competition. The bar has gone from 146 to 150, 4 kilo increase. Now the body weight comes into play, weighed in at 104.37. Stas of New Zealand, 103.40. And then Ben Watson, 103.23. He's the lightest one. And the Barbadian is 104.16. So Ben Watson, he's the man, along with the Kiwi, who've got the body weight advantages.
So close.
So he's stuck back down on 146, but that may still be no bad thing.
So watch from the side, you'll see he did get it to his hips, full extension, real fast, trying to get under that bar, but just a little too far forward.
Andrew Callard, Michael Pearman, Keith Morgan, 3 men in his coaching squad, and Ben coming on. It's very focused, 152 for the outright lead. Excellent, excellent. That for me was the best snatch so far.
That was really solid technique. He is completely in the driver's seat right now in this competition, lifting like he is.
When you deliver like that also, Ginny, you minimize the energy that you use.
Exactly, very good point, David. That's really going to serve him well heading over to the clean and jerk.
Well, where are we going now? Because Celaya of New Zealand's gone to 155. Likewise, McNee of Barbados. And the bar for Ben Watson has gone to 155 also. So these are all important kilos and lifts that are available. These 3 all looking to get an edge, just to ease themselves away from the other 9 in the class. So first off, it's going to be Stanislav Celaya. 5 kilo increase here.
He had a very solid first attempt. Now there's a bit more pressure as the game is getting a little closer with those other lifters. So can he channel this excitement? No problems there.
The mental and the physical going together.
And he's chewing gum. He can lift like that and chew gum at the same time. That's skill, David.
Bit of multitasking.
That's right.
Yeah, well, that's very good news. I bet it's good news for those of you in the functional strength headquarters to see your man starting so well. So now we go down to the bottom of the list to the Barbadian, who's also wanting 155.
If you want to make some noise, we're going to monitor just exactly how
To Yvonne McNee.
McNee, Iowa McNee, Barbados, 155 kilos, second attempt.
Well, his personal best is 160, so this should be within his range. It'll be different for Ben Watson, who's gone to 157 because he's never been there before. But before that, this man.
He's a bit heavier than Stas, so he won't take the lead in this portion.
And that could be significant because that drops him back to 150. But he does have another chance.
Loaders, 155 stays. McNee will
He's just digesting it, walking off the platform and away into that warm-up area. He knows he lost an attempt, but he's already got a little bit of a grin on his face, knows he has to finish the next lift with his ears in front of his arms, just a little bit more finish. You could see here it was very close. He was almost in that position, just needs to squeeze the shoulder blades towards them, each other, and he might be able to hold that.
But he's going to have to come in because the other two men want more kilos. Stanislav Celaya of New Zealand has put the bar up to 157. And that's the same weight for Ben Watson. So this is pretty interesting because, for example, here, if the other two boys were to come in and get their 157s and he misses this, he'd be 7 kilos away. And his clean and jerk opener of 190 would not look so effective.
That's right.
Just to give you an example how that would work round, he's got 190 as his opener. Ben Watson has got 175. So if Ben Watson could get the 7 kilo advantage, effectively that would be 182. So put him within 8 kilos, just close him up, give him a little bit more belief. But this man may well do it. He may well make the correction.
He looks like he's ready to go back to this. No longer any frustration. This is all confidence now. He looks like he's having a good time out here.
But he's got the fire. Now, needs to make sure that gets this technique right. Look at the arms. They couldn't be out any further on the extension of the bar. Needs to stay on the platform.
That is hard, David.
Doesn't matter that he helicopters as long as he's in control, the feet are stable and in line, and that's what he did, and that's why he got 3 whites.
This is a great angle to see what happened here. So just a little weight shifted to the left there, and so skillful to be able to shimmy, sidestep, and get that weight.
So he ends his first half on 155, but now new territory for Ben Watson. Now, technically, the second attempt was so good. Can he replicate this with an extra 5 kilos on the bar? This for the lead at 157. Oh, yes, he can. What a great little series.
That is the perfect day.
He may not be the strongest guy in the clean and jerk. That we have to wait and to see what he can deliver. But you can't criticize that in any way at all.
No. Great throw from the hips. Excellent catch. He got lower there than he did on the previous two lifts, but I think there's still room for him to get even lower if he needed to. I'd really like to see if he has any more gas in the tank to do another lift. I know that there's no rule that would allow him to, but I think he could have done more today.
Well, this man's, what, 17 grams heavier than the Englishman? So he's put the bar up to 158. Obviously feels that he's confident. Essentially, what he's doing is evening up. I mean, he'd take a 1 kilo lead into the second half of the competition. So, the man who was the runner-up 4 years ago to lead into the halftime break. I wasn't expecting that.
He wasn't expecting that either. That's a rough way to miss a lift. That's definitely it getting into your head. But, you know, this guy is strong in the clean and jerk. Very strong athlete, so.
Yeah, so as a result of that surprise, he's left on 155. And this is where we are. Ben Watson for England, 157, a valuable 2 kilos on body weight over Stanislav Celaya of New Zealand. Same weight there for Yvonne McNee of Barbados. And then Kiribati, 148, not out of this. Neither is Ebelongi from Samoa. And look at that, 12 kilos separating the first half dozen. And on that basis, I would think that probably the medals are going to come from those men. So the boys into a 9